Hey folks, H4006 here doing a video. It's a little different from what I'm accustomed to doing. We're going to do a cookie video. Got a lot of time on my hands now. This little corona crap's going on. So we're going to just do a home recipe that I've been doing for a while now. It's something I like and the family likes too. A little bit of bite to it, but not too much. It's a version of a Mexican dish, Tex-Mex dish called Picadillo, or Picadillo, depending on where you're from. But and typically it's done with a dry taste, more of a ground beef mixed with some veggies, more of a dry broth or dry stew, not very wet. But I like mine more of a soup nature or soup setup, so that's the way I do it. And I'm gonna run you through it. What we do here is you got a can of corn, that'll be at the very end. Some rotel, if you like the rotel, if you like it with a lot of bite, the rotel hot does well. It's pretty interesting. 1 can of tomato sauce and 2 pounds of ground beef from the store. Hopefully you can find some. Fortunately right now people are making a run on everything. It's not coming very common, but no worries. We got half an onion. You can do a full onion if you wish. Some cloves of garlic that we'll be adding. About 1, 2, 3, 5 potatoes that we're going to be throwing in there for the part of the mix. The ground beef will go in the pan. We'll be cooking that separately, and then the veggies we're going to cut up, the rotel and the onions are going to go in the pot soon. So let me show you how I start this off with cutting the onions. That's already cut in half, so we're just going to cut it one more time, and then we're going to turn it. It's a little chef trick, if you will. Right. Cut the onion like so. Get it cut up nice and thin. Without chopping your fingers off. Nice hot knife or sharp knife never hurts. What's neat about this trick here is when you're done, you just start cutting down. And there you go. It's already all minced up. Pretty slick. And use a recipe for people who are stuck at home, do something different, feed the family, keep everybody happy and fed. Show you another time, one more time how I'm doing this. Again, just cutting slits at an angle. As you're doing this, we're separating the onion. It's a white onion. You like yellow, that's your business. Sorry guys, not one of those guys who shouts with enthusiasm or when I'm doing all this stuff. I'm more of a realist, if you will. So it tends to come off not so energetic, but hey, I'm showing you how it's done. You know, mainly we do guns and gun reviews, gun products, but I'm going to start mixing up a little bit with some recipes and some boot products as well that I'm fond of. Really into boots. But something that if you're of Hispanic culture, great. If you're not, hey, learn something new. And it doesn't hurt. I've learned to cook Indian, Asian, continental, if you will, food. It's not restricted to my personal family's culture or heritage, and still, you know, it's all good. So give me 1 sec. Let me move this to the side and grab a container. These bad boys. Grab a bowl here, and we're gonna move this over. A little tip, in case you don't know, is when you're using a cutting board, use a paper towel or a wet towel under there to sustain it so the board doesn't move on you, and you can cut properly. You don't have to worry about it walking on you and then maybe causing you to cut your fingers. And so, do a little chef trick or cookie tip. So this is going to go in with the rotel right now. You could throw another onion if you want to. If you want to get rich with it, but we're gonna throw in some onion powder down the way anyway, so no worries. I like to prep stuff as I'm doing this. So one of the things I'm gonna be doing is just have these on the side instead of cooking them to go or cutting them to go. So what I like to do is cut these like so, not too thick, not too thin. As I'm doing my ingredients, you're gonna notice I'm not gonna be giving you measurements as far as teaspoons and cups and so on. Outside of maybe a cup, I'll probably do that, but the other stuff I'm not gonna be doing that. I mean, it's just the way I do it. Once you learn how to cook well, you really don't, measure things. You just kind of know the way it goes, and I know it might be not constructive for some of you new people that are getting into cooking, but it's just the way I've done it all these years, and it's kind of like sharpening a knife. Eventually you figure it all out, and it makes sense. Not as easy initially, but it does come together. So, folks that don't know me, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Lived here the majority of my life. Born here, lived in Laredo for about 9 years, and then moved back about 20 years ago. And been here ever since, raising a family, and so on. You see we're cutting, cross-cutting. I'll show you one more time. You can zoom in on that. Focusing on that. I'm going to cut once, cut across 3 times, or actually no, 2 times, giving you like 6 cuts going across, again and again. So 1, 2, 3. This one came out a little thick there, but that's all right. And then we're going to cut across once, and then twice. Giving you fair pieces. You don't want them too thick because you want everything to cook consistently. So nothing wrong with all that. And I've been cooking for about I've been cooking for over 20 years, but recently in the past like 5 years I really kind of got into it and taken a liking to it. I feel that cooking is a form of expression, expressing yourself. You're seeing videos, if you can go back that far, where Bob Ross would make a video showing him painting trees on a canvas, and you're like, you give it a shot, and it's ridiculous because there's no way you can do it. It kind of comes together like that. Initially, it doesn't feel like you can give it a try, but then it comes out wrong, and you work at it, and you work at it, and then eventually it all comes together, and you're not cooking anymore. You're painting in a canvas. You're making food, and that's kind of how I feel about that. But teach your own. And again, sharp knife is really useful because if you don't have a sharp knife, you're gonna end up probably cutting yourself really good, especially on veggies and potatoes with a lot of texture. So you don't have to go out and spend a fortune on a knife either. This knife here is roughly about $20. I got it at my local supermarket. It's a Hamilton Forge Argentium setup. So we got our taters there. We're gonna move that to the side. Let me grab some real quick. Put that in. So that's plenty right there. Move that over. Put it down. She's not going anywhere. She's gonna sit there until we do what we need to do next. My lovely assistant helping me out. Video work today. Again, we have 2 pounds of ground beef that we're going to cook up. So let me show you how that works. All right, folks. So we're gonna get 2 cans of Rotel original, hot. If you like it hot, throw that in there. That's 1. There's 2. And that's gonna do. I'm also on this other burner over here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on kind of a low, get it hot, get it nice and hot. I'm gonna throw these tomatoes, or just sorry, just tomatoes, these onions we just cut. Put that in there. All right, folks. So I forgot to mention too. I also need some garlic. Fresh garlic's always the best. Not press down. Careful not to cut yourself. And we're gonna mince this up. Want to cut off the tails of the garlic. We don't want that in there. Don't need it. To the wayside. So get this one here. Cut that up. And off. Alright. So. Alright, so we're just gonna chop this up.
Mince.
I hear some people say, well, there's a little piece of green in there. Well, we're gonna mince it up anyway, so don't worry, guys. It's going in the stew. Give it one more pass here. What we're going for is a kind of a mint consistency. So you don't get big chunks. You want the stuff to liquefy and stew. That's not too bad. Okay, so we're gonna come over here and put that with the rotel and the onions that we have. All the chopping we need to do today. So we got this, and I'll grab some here. The goal here is to get this stuff to become, the onions become translucent, to build a nice broth, a base. And this stuff will do that easy. As you cook it down, coming down to a nice tasty flavor. And everything we can do here in doing this, go ahead and have at least 1 can of water for now. I like to use what I have at hand to help that. So we got 1 can going down. So we have garlic, onions, and tomatoes with spices in there. And what we're going to throw in next. So we're trying to build a broth, so we're going to turn it up to about hot right here. I'm on a glass stove. I have all electric in the house. And so we're just a comino, a cumin. You folks, you say cumin. It's comino in Spanish. It's all good. A decent amount of that. It's a very heavy spice. People want to go, oh, you're throwing a lot in there. Well, so a lot of things going on here. Even though we did throw some garlic, fresh garlic in there, we're going to throw a little garlic powder anyway, for giggles. Not too much. It's a very powerful spice. That can overpower the flavor of the meal. Some regular black garlic. Black pepper, my bad. And I'm gonna lay off the onion powder for now because there's plenty of onion in there. Later on, we'll be throwing in some bouillon to give it some flavor. Some beef bouillon. That's what I prefer to use. If you don't have beef bouillon, chicken bouillon will suffice, but it's gonna just taste a little different. So, gonna let that reduce. Just let it cook for about next Yeah, 45 minutes. Get nice and let it liquefy pretty much. And what's that? I'm sure you want to take this part out. That's not too good. All right. We got one more in here. All right, we're good. Keeping it real. All right, so now we have this dish over here, and we're gonna turn up the heat about medium. And what we have is 2 pounds of ground beef. Just throw them in. Smoke them if you got them. We got another pack here. Yeah, 2 pounds of ground beef. Let that come up. You don't want to cook too quick. Put your hands. Stay clean. And once this ground beef comes up to temperature, we're going to be putting also spices in it that are going to give it some flavor. I like to do a little mixture of comino or cumin again. Not too much stuff. Some black pepper. A little bit of onion powder. And a little bit of garlic powder. And last but not least, if I can find it, we're going to do some lemon pepper. Let's give a little zing to the meat. It's not for everybody, but it definitely adds some profile. I don't need to throw salt in there because it is going to do just fine with. I did put a little bit of oil under the ground beef because this is a leaner ground beef than your average stuff that you buy. In here in the background, that this is starting to cook, really do its thing, and that's what we want to do. So let's see this come to temperature, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to brown this. You're not trying to really cook the heck out of it. Just a good browning. You know, don't overcook it. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Just giving it some flavor, heating it up, get it going, and make sure it's cooked properly. And then we want to take it off temperature and drain it, drain all the fat out of the meat. Unless that's your thing, what you want, a bunch of oil in the meat left over from browning it. That's all you, but I like to strain it and get all that stuff out of there. That way it doesn't go into the soup slash picadillo that we're making. But it's all good, no worries. So I'm gonna brown this and I'll come right back once we're done. Alright folks, so instead of browning all this meat, it's almost done. Just get a nice brown on it, a nice cook on it. Don't want to overcook it, don't want to undercook it. Just here's even though this is a lean beef, there's an accumulation of oil that I'm gonna drain or strain, if you will, just to get the meat product when we're done here. And that's gonna be put to the side when we're done. What I'm gonna use is a strainer and just dump it into a bowl and try to get all as much oil as I can out of it. Can't get it all, but you can get as much as you can. And as you see over here, we also have that broth or gallo that we're reducing. Start off a nice base, and it's all coming together slowly but surely. This meal doesn't take much. About 20 minutes, not even that, maybe 10 minutes worth of prep work, and about the cook time, I guess, when you're all said and done, you're probably about an hour and a half into this, because you want this to come out right. So you want the broth to be nice and stout, and good flavor. Be able to absorb that into the potatoes, and then the corn at the very end we're going to be putting in. But it's good stuff, man. Definitely think you're going to like it. Alright, as you see, folks, here I'm just scooping up the meat, putting it in the strainer, and all said and done, I'm just gonna, I like to use a potato masher to push down on this meat, force it through the strainer, not the meat, the oil, excess oil that we don't want to eat or ingest. So you have an idea of what's going on here in the steps. So I'm gonna roust up all this meat in here, and then put potato masher over it and get all the excess oil out of it. Try to keep this dish as clean as you can, if you will. Alright, folks, so see that if you look in the pot here, it's almost done reducing to a pulp. I'm gonna add about 4 cans of water for that. I'm a big advocate of cooking while cleaning while you cook. I recommend it, working in the service industry, they make you do it back in the day. So I'm gonna say go for it, because the last thing you want to do is when you're done cooking and eating is having a big mess of pots and pans that you have to come after. So put in 4 cans of water. We should probably make that 6 cans. And then people might say, hey, you didn't measure, but again, I do it my way. I'm measuring with cans. So we're gonna bring that up. We're gonna add the tomato sauce to it that we have here. And thrifty people like to give that a 1 rinse. What the hell? Fill it to the top. I'm gonna pour that in there again. So this stuff's been reducing, but we're gonna go ahead and give it some more flavor as well one more time. We're gonna go ahead and add some more onion powder, even though we got onion in there, fresh onion. It's gonna give it some flavor. When people want to say it's counterproductive, well, make your own. Yeah, so you can't, onion powder in my opinion, you really can't hit it too hard. Garlic powder's one of the ones that, yeah, that one can make or break a meal, because that is a very, very pungent spice. Some more ground pepper. There you go. And some more comino, or cumin, for my other people out there. You can add cayenne if you wish. I'm gonna throw in some parsley flakes. Flavor, just a tad. Again, this is my recipe. You can do it however you please. If you want to get crazy with it. Now, we are going to put in some caldo de pollo, or chicken bouillon. Good pinch. A little more. That's going to give it some flavor, because again, this is all going to reduce down. And what I'm trying to do is just get this all come to the right. Get all off your stirring device there. Alright, so we're going to add the meat. Look over here. Ground beef that we just strained. Got as much grease as we could out of there, even though this is a lean, maybe beef. I forget the portion wise. We're going to go ahead and pour it all in so we can start getting it. The flavor of the soup, or my version of the picadillo. And we're going to add the potatoes that we cut. And we're going to put those in there. Bring this to a boil. Well, you gotta kind of eyeball it as far as how much water you're throwing in there, because you don't want too much. You never want the water to go over the little rivets for the handles. It's just a rule of thumb to keep it right. And so we're gonna bring this up to a nice boil. Secret to it, or not secret, but basically a good way to know is that when you bring it to a boil, you want to go ahead and throw a lid over it, and then we're going to put it on low so it can sit there and simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour to get that get the broth nice and stout. And then we're going to taste it. I'm going to taste cook. I'm not a measure cook, so we'll taste it and see how it tastes. Some people like it really strong. I like mine, just right in the middle, where it has a good flavor broth in your palate, but it's not too overbearing. I've done it both ways, and some people like it, but I like to make mine right in the middle. Again, if you use rotel hot, which I do like, it's going to make your nose drip. It's good stuff. You make your nose drip. You see, I'm cleaning as I'm cooking, trying to keep everything nice and clean. So when we're done, all we got are bowls and glasses to clean up. It's all said and done. So we're gonna let this bring to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'll come back and show you what we're doing and give you an update. All right, folks. So you see, we got this to pretty much a rolling boil. So we're gonna leave it like that. We're gonna cover it, nice and hot, and we're gonna turn it down to almost a low on the settings here, so that this can pretty much simmer for about 45 minutes. One thing I like to use, I'm sure all you guys are, you got your technology. I'll just use Google Assistant to set timer. Like, let me see if I can do it right now. All right, folks. Hey, Edge here again, showing you how it's done. To say that we are doing cooking videos is right, but you always gotta stay armed in these particular times, and with everything going on, stay safe, and I got that covered there. But let's get back into it. Okay, it's been cooking for about 45 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because there's now a nice rolling boil. We're gonna get that covered up. So we got the corn, right? Canned corn here. We're gonna open it up and drain the corn, because we don't want that corn water, if you will, to go into the soup. It makes everything sweet, if you will, and it just doesn't work out. So just make sure and get that corn nice and drained. If you have fresh corn, the better. Hey, we're working on what we got here. So we're gonna take the lid off for a sec. See here, cut my frickin' finger off. So we hit. All right, so we're gonna put that in there. Give it a stir. Big fan of the chef shows and such. Don't mind my wife. And one of my favorites is like Master Chef and so on. My wife says I'm like Chef Ramsay, good looking, just not rich. But we're gonna give it a little taste. You gotta really taste your food. That's core. We're trying to taste the broth to see what we got. So we're gonna give this a little taste real quick. Tastes pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and bring that up. One sec here. I like to cook while I clean, mind you. It's a big rule. You'll see me talk over and over and I have to do these videos. And keep everything nice and clean, if you will. There's this once. Alright, so I'm testing my assistant to tell me what she thinks of the broth. See anything?
Salt?
Maybe some salt. Well, my daughter eats like a 82-year-old old man that likes salt on everything.
I think it's missing something.
We'll throw a little salt in there, but I don't like to overpower my meals with salt. Just for general, I like to give that person that option. So we'll throw a little salt in there. Hold on one sec. Alright, folks, so we're going to do, instead of a little bit of both things, we're going to throw a little more flavor in there with Norris Caldo de Pollo, or chicken broth. and bouillon. And we're gonna put some more in there. That'll do two things: give it a little more flavor and a little more salt. And we're gonna let that settle and stir for about another just 20 minutes for giggles. Again, this is all on your own. You can choose, you know, your times. What you want to make sure is your potatoes don't get too soft. You want them to cook right, but you don't want them to overcook because they turn to mush as you're trying to eat. And that's what we got here. But pretty much everything is all said and done. I'm coming back to you shortly. I'll be having my daughter test it out and give it. So I'm gonna just turn it on just a tad. Again, get it to a little bit of a boil. And as it gets a boil, we're gonna turn it on low, leave it for about there. And or 15 minutes at that at most. Again, you don't have to. This is just me doing it. Be extra cautious and make everything. Try to make it the best I can, if you will. So just wait a sec, and we'll be back. All right, folks. So we're all said and done here, and it's all done. Roughly about an hour and a half total time cooking, a little here and a little there. What we ended up doing is putting a little more comino and a little more parsley flakes, and like I said, the chicken bouillon or gallo boil to give it that salty flavor that my daughter was asking for. And finished products here. I want to go take a look right inside. You got your potatoes, got your ground beef, you got your corn, and onions are pretty much all translucent, liquefied, all but, and so is the garlic. So it's a nice tomatoey soup with ground beef, potatoes, and teach your own. I hear other recipes from other cultures and whatnot, and lineage or culture that, you know, they do their things. One that I do, kind of my dad, you know, trained or taught me how to make, and then I did my own little twist on it. It's pretty neat and it's delicious. So we're gonna give the taste test to the princess, and we're gonna see how it works out. All right, folks, so here's the finished product here. We got a nice healthy bowl of soup, or my version of picadillo, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's my version. You guys, you know, do whatever makes you happy, but it's a nice recipe. I'm glad to share it with you. And let's see if the princess likes it. My lovely assistant. Steaming hot. It's a cold day in San Antonio.
I like it.
All right, she approves. So there you go. So
Rice.
nice. She likes rice with it, so we'll do that'll be another video. I'll make nice steamed jasmine rice. And another thing that goes real nice with this is a little bit of a squirt of lime. It really gives a little acidity if you're into that, and it just really works out awesome. I recommend that, man. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Haven't done a video in a long time. I apologize, but it's been a while, and I'm transitioning to some new stuff. Don't get me wrong. We're still doing gun stuff, and I'll be doing some boot reviews too. But a couple things that are gonna, you know, shift out just a tad. But we're making progress, and that's what it's all about. All right, so stay safe, stay fed, stay secure, watch over your family, and Jesus, I mean, hopefully we're all gonna be okay, and everything is gonna be okay. I wouldn't fret, but it's all good. Edge for Down 6 here, signing out, man. Got a meal done, got my daughter fed, got my little baby ready here, just in case. And Edge for Down 6 signing out, man. Fight the good fight and keep your strike, brother.